All right. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the TV coverage of Royal Arena. This is going to be the group stages. We're on Group A right now. Game number one of a best of two between Allusions and Fantastic Five. Very excited to see how this gets underway. I'm Android, being joined by Motpax. How you doing, man?
I am very ready. So
I'm
for
ready as
you
well.
guys who didn't tune in yesterday, Illusions played. Things did not go well for them. They went with this first pick support Morphling strategy. They picked a Morphling and a second. I can't remember if it was another core or support or something, but they picked Morphling in the first phase, which basically says we must have some sort of versatility with it, or you guys are just going to counter a Morphling through your whole draft. Ended up being this jungling Iron Talon Morphling. Then a Ricky got picked on the other side. They went back for a Weaver. Things fell apart. Game 1 was really rough up against Pierre, and Game 2 looked pretty similar. Now, coming in today, as you can see, we obviously don't have the ticket put into the game yet by Valve, so we don't have all the official tags, but some of these guys are people you might have recognized from various stacks across a couple different regions. The captain, for example, Firo, I just found out is Bake Mono. So he's a guy who used to play in the NA region quite a bit, played on Boreal. You would have seen a lot with like Pizza Dad, played on Perky Pepperonis. He's been around for a while. So there are definitely some names. I've got renewed faith. So I saw one of them talking after the game saying they underestimated their opponent. You know, some of them may be coming into competitive for the first time. I think some of these guys are, some of them are very experienced in it, but other of the guys have never done this stuff before. So I'm a believer now.
You're a believer?
Yeah, I'm a believer now. I'm excited to see what they pull out. I don't think it's going to be as bad as yesterday.
Yeah, again, if you missed it, yesterday was a best of two against Power Rangers. That was, I believe, a 13-minute game and a 17-minute game.
They were quick.
It was pretty brutal to watch. I'm not going to lie. Illusions kind of got walked over. But if you said they're bouncing back, they've now got great respect for their opponents. F5 just playing in the last series, giving PR a decent run for their money as well. Unfortunately, going 0-2 in that series. I'm curious to see what's going to happen here. The Drow strat already pulled out by Fantastic Five. They bring in the Shadow Demon as well. So there's going to be crazy tower push once Drow gets up that Dragonlance.
Yeah, this is a really nice opener, too. Because you can go two different ways with this draft. You can go full ball-out mode, right? Just run at their towers. Shadow Demon's great for saving up against some of these initiations that are, going to be required when you're all grouped up as five there. You might be able to save the Drow Ranger in the back line. You can get a nice illusion carry. Go for your Lunas if you want to go full push. Or you can similarly just secure some lanes using the Drow, put something like the Medusa mid. You see that's banned out, but even like some teams would run like a Morphling mid or something like that through this. Could just go for a more stable mid like a Queen of Pain or a Viper, push that way, get a stable spread out game. You don't necessarily have to go all out with the Drow opener. It's very strong when you have the Shadow Demon to go with it.
I like this Darkseer pickup, though, from Illusions. I think that's a nice lane controller. I think we saw Illusions kind of fall victim to the draft yourself into a corner. You mentioned the Iron Talon jungling Morphling. But Darkseer should be survivable, really, no matter what's thrown up against him.
Yeah, my only concern would be supports that are very good against Darkseer, as well as laners are still all open when you pick them this early, and he's
Oracle's
not
still there.
Yeah, exactly. Like there's still the Oracle. Now that reducing the base damage is actually huge for support or for offlaners like Darkseer who naturally builds Stout Shield and everything. I mean, most offlaners do, but the reduction in the base damage of Oracle, I believe it was Blaze who was talking about it on Twitter, and he's very correct. It's huge. Like it's a very big deal trying to zone out someone with just Purifying Flames in your spells now. So Oracle a little bit weaker in that sense, but as we all know, Darkseer losing his Iron Shells to the Purge is always just going to be very sad. So we'll see if they go for a Disruptor or an Oracle or even like an AM or some sort of of course, probably not with a Drow Ranger, but something to deal with this Darkseer in lane.
I mean, we saw mid-Drow earlier today. It's a possibility to go for another greedy core, but you really do want to capitalize on that precision aura, and you don't really want to throw a puck in the offlane unless necessary. So I'm liking what F5 are doing. I think with the puck, most likely the BZZ puck, going to be dishing out a ton of damage and having a very, very powerful laning stage. What's your best choice against a puck in the mid?
Earth Shaker.
Oh wow, they are going full anti-push here.
All right.
I was going to comment on
pushing,
the Winter
no
Wyvern because that was a really nice pick, I thought, because they could have transitioned into a later stage like Beastmaster or something like that and just gone full out with the offlane pick. And Winter Wyvern, very good against all Drow lineups, of course, thanks to the bonus damage that she does. That she's going to add on to her allies who are doing it too themselves. Great stuff right there. And then the Earthshaker stacked on top of that is probably going to be some sort of an audible call here. Like I think a Morphling or something would be nice. In terms of the mid lane for for Illusions, I assume it's going to be the Mirana heading into the mid. Well, obviously now I guess with the Earthshaker.
Yeah.
That's a off lane Pudge. Or a 4 Pudge, I
It
suppose.
could be that 4 Pudge, could be the
Yeah.
offlaner if they want to take a page out of Jenkins' book, but I am very excited to see this underway. I think
Okay.
that's really the only
This
way
is
I can
neat,
put
actually.
it. Yeah.
Yeah, so this will be 4 roll. Trying to get some points in the hook. Use that to siege towers. Yeah, there's the Tide Band. That would have been perfect, right? Getting that last little element of their nice push. So it's still a pretty early game focused lineup. There's no real third pick offlaner besides Beastmaster that I think you can go for. That would like, although he helps push early, I think he scales decently into like a slightly later point. But with the Winter Wyvern and the Earthshaker, I just can't see that happening. This
is definitely shaking it up here. We thought Iron
This is
Talon
where
Jungle
you'd
Morph
see,
was a treat, but we are in for
Yeah.
some dead
You
hero
know,
revivals.
yesterday you were talking about Nature's Prophet. This is the exact kind of draft where you would have expected something like a Nature's Prophet back in the day, where you really need that scaling offlaner who can take you into some later portions of the game and not limit you so heavily, right? Like he would still add to an early game push, but he'd give you an out too because he'd have so much higher damage. But again, Winter Wyvern and Earthshaker makes the summons scary. I almost want like a Lone Druid or something, but I feel like this is a very tough pick for Fantastic Five.
Nature's Prophet, dude. It's coming back. We're going to see live resurrection here on stream. No, I mean, they could go for even something like a Windrunner if they wanted to go full cheese draw strat and really get the most out of that precision aura.
Yeah, I almost want to put something else mid at this point.
Really?
And send the puck off lane. I'd almost be to that point. I'm just not sure what they're gonna do. Other offlaners are left here. Faceless Void isn't that good here.
They're gonna go with the Sand King. All right. Where do you think the Pudge is gonna be spending his time? Assuming that's gonna be off lane Sand King roaming Pudge instead of vice versa.
Just everywhere, right? That's the whole the dream. Wants to be in every single lane, having an impact. Not too much time at the bottom, you would imagine. Drow and Shadow Demons should be relatively okay, but he'll show up every once in a while to get a kill. The Sand King is interesting. He did not get nerfed as heavily as I thought he would. I thought he was like top tier material already, but only the 5 movement speed. That's okay. Not a big deal. Just buy a Windlace. It's fine. Glorious item, that one. Okay, last pick. This should be exciting. So we assume this is position 1. You have split push as an option. If they played Naga, that would be pretty sick.
I can't get behind a Naga pick being great. Like, I know it works out in some situations. It's just every time I pick it, a little part of me dies. They're going to go for the early game pressure, though. You know, screw the late game. They pick up the Ursa. I love this. And it's going to be played by your boy Firo. Now, I'm really getting behind Illusions draft. Again, we saw them kind of walked on the other day, but they are back with a vengeance. And let's see how it plays out here. Starting things off with our traditional pause. But any predictions for our early laning phase now with that last pick, Ursa?
A lot of kills. I hope you guys like blood. You're feeling like, some rare stakes today.
I'm a fan.
This.
Dude, Ursa's
Don't
going
think I'll be
hunting.
doing a lot of talking this game.
Sorry about that. I might just have to spit over you, but this is going to be...
That's pretty much what it's going to be like. Feel free to interrupt me every
What is
30
Earthshaker's
seconds when
face
someone's
cosmetic? Ugh, looks like a stupid mammoth.
Oh yeah, that's quite the mask there. I love the Immortal though.
What, the hands?
Yeah, they're so sick.
I have
Earthshaker is
mine...
probably the best hero in Dota 2, let's all be honest.
if we're getting vain here, I have that Earthshaker cosmetic with my own autograph on it.
Nice. Okay. That's good. I want the golden totem though, like the gravel mop. I know
the one,
Cap's
the
got one.
TI4 that just drops the gold stack of bricks.
Oh, it's so sexy.
That's
hero.
pretty great. No surprise there. I got the Skywrath staff from that chest.
Look at this. Lollic does the exact same play again.
Oh, I love it here.
And it works again.
It works
okay,
again.
I am so copying this as an offlaner.
All right, Winter Wyvern. Probably sniffing
no,
around, but it's going to be the exact same ward to try to counter. They think, oh, Sand King's probably around here, but Lollic is going to be scurrying back, not punished for this. And Winter Wyvern just kind of sitting there under Radiant Vision. Now we're going to have a group up here. Mirana obviously wanted to get that nice little rune here, but Radiant's focusing their attention down bottom. Not going to be too much of a conflict unless things in this top lane go awry.
Can't tell if they saw him. I feel like they might have seen him here when he was shuffling down. And I think that's what happened last time too, when they all ran over, because it was the same ward, and then suddenly they all just like grouped up as 5 to chase him in the trees. That's an excellently done ward though again.
Yeah, I mean that's got to become meta pretty soon because that just gives you so much information, and it's such low risk for being caught because you're not rotating ultra deep into dire territory. There's virtually no one on illusions that could even mobilize that quickly to get there and contest you. So
And
very
it doesn't
well
block
played.
a camp too, which is
Yeah,
always
so
nice,
it's,
right?
It's hiding under the radar. You get crazy vision of what's going on. If there's going to be supports from the jungle wrapping in, if there's going to be mid ganks, always great to start off the game like that. But speaking of starting off the game, not going to start out with any blood just yet. But I agree with your prediction that this could be a very savage game.
I'll make a good point here. Oh, look, I paused too. Okay, so
He's giving you time to talk.
there's some other excellent things about this ward too. The fact that whenever you're playing offlane Sand you don't want to block this camp, right? You want to make sure you're pulling it into the lane. You're Sand so you're very good at contesting into this pull here too. Sometimes if you're on the dire side right now, like I think if this were NP, you'd probably see them actually block this camp, I would think, and do some sort of like a solo Ursa and putting pressure into the other two lanes with these two supports. Early on, you want to get a couple kills on the Sand King because Sand King can still do pretty well up against an Ursa until he's like level 6, and if he doesn't have any detection, obviously you get like some freebies there as Lolic. But a lot of the time against Bat Riders and Sand Kings, blocking out this camp can be a huge part. Vape Nation, nice.
Well,
Who
that's
is
a report there for a little
That's
touchy
RMN.
too. RMN, he's having some fun there. Oh boy, okay. So he's in a nice
basically,
relaxed state.
Despite knowing that the sentry's here, it's not that, or rather, knowing that this ward is here, it's not that important that Lolic has a support come up here and deward it. Because yeah, it's going to give them vision of him and whatnot, but it's not really worth the effort as long as it's not blocking off this camp. That's what I'd say.
Got more Fate Nations here. Pudge is going to be chilling out. I mean, how does the Pudge have the best possible impact? Obviously, roaming's going to be great. He's sitting there, but I'm assuming it goes for the typical, rot into hook and just seeing what he can get done. Does he grab an early earn? Does he go for something a little more greedy? What's his play? Because Pudge is a little bit underused
It kind of depends,
here.
right? Get some tranquils, roam around. I like the Urn. Urn's always good on Pudge.
Mm-hmm.
A happy day. And he's under vision as well here, so I suppose the Dagger getting some good ones. The big thing that we're going to look at through this game, and we're going to question is, because Illusions had the final pick. They had the decision, how do you want to win this Dota 2 game? And they went with an Ursa. So it said, we're going to meet you head-to-head. We're going to use our early game Winter Wyvern. We're not going to rely on this Echo Slam and whatnot, right? Because it's Lolic, nice rotation here. Oh, he didn't skill Caustic yet, though.
Yeah, he's
Generally,
sitting
the
back.
support won't show until they actually have skilled it.
He's deciding if he needs that Burrow Strike, and he may actually need
Yeah,
it,
exactly.
as Earthshaker's up here, has the Fissure ready to drop. You can Burrow Strike under Fissures, right?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
So it's going to be
You are correct,
just
Amundo.
sculpting the earth here. Down bottom, Shadow Demon gets extremely low, trying to bully out this Darkseer, just chasing him back up. It was almost first blood down in this bottom lane. Shadow Demon goes and just kills himself to get that free trip back to Fountain. Now Sand King could get punished here, still sitting on that point. Deciding if he really wants to get back. Winter Wyvern comes back in. No Arctic Burn just yet. The Fissure traps in Lolic. Again, he now picks up that Burrow Strike, gets himself back over the Fissure. Ursa's not quick enough to catch up and actually go for that kill, so no punish here. But that means no Caustic right now for the Sand King, which is going to make it pretty difficult for him to farm.
Oh, yeah, it looks like we're having a couple other problems here, but... so this is looking up pretty well. Ursa is one of the best solo versus solo laners. Axe and Sand King are pretty much the only ones that do give him trouble, so it's not the best last pick in that sense, but he will be relatively fine, especially if you can slow down the Sand King, you can force him to leave the lane and whatnot, and then Ursa gets out of control, he gets a Blink Dagger, they take Rosh, all that kind of stuff, and that's the plan that they've gone for. The reason I brought up Naga is because when you look at F5's draft with a Pudge and a Puck, they are coming in early, they want to win this game, and have like such an advantage that they don't have to necessarily get like racks at 25 or 20 minutes or anything like that, but they need such an insurmountable lead that Illusions can't come out on the map, that they're the ones who are farming around, that they're building up enough of a lead that they don't feel threatened by Illusions, and then at that point they go high ground with Aegis and whatnot. But overall, they don't have a lot of push, right? It's just Drow helping out a Puck and a Shadow Demon. That's it. They are definitely on a timer in that sense that they do need to gain that lead. So had Illusions not wanted to fight into this because it's such a telegraphed draft, the Naga would have just allowed you to split push all these side lanes if that's something they're comfortable with. A Winter Wyvern and Earthshaker scale ridiculously well with items. Like, much better than a Shadow Demon does, even though Blink is cool for disruptions and everything like that. Obviously, Blink on Earthshaker is ridiculous. Blink on Winter Wyvern is ridiculous. Glimmer Cape's coming out. it's as the game goes later, these two supports are gonna outweigh the benefits of the two supports on F5. So to me, it's very interesting that they decided not to dodge this like early game, and they're rather going head to head.
Sand King here, again, has that Burrow Strike, so they're not going to bait out the Earthshaker Fissure, wanting to conserve that mana and make sure every Fissure results in a kill. Mid lane, we did see both of these laners getting quite low as they're able to trade a decent amount of damage back and forth. Both range heroes, both thrive on those little bit of chip damages, so we'll see if Iceberg's going to go for the full unload here. Again, Iceberg is standing in for Illidan, I believe, on F5.
Yeah, I guess BZZ's like, yeah, Iceberg's pretty good at puck. Because he is.
Iceberg's alright, you know. He's
yeah.
a
I'll let
decent
him
mid.
have it.
Whatever.
I'll go play Drow.
Oh, there is going to be
phase.
that rotation in.
Nice.
The phase shift is already dropped. There is going to be that Starstorm coming in. The first blood will be going the way of this Earthshaker, who comes in and just smacks him down with his mighty wall and his mighty fist with those cute little armlets we talked about earlier. But nice play there. Now Marana has a little bit of time to free farm before she has to go back and worry about her regen.
Yeah, that's a great rotation before an Invis rune too. So now he can pop himself a Clarity. I'm sure he'll take that eventually. Oh, the bottle's coming. Never mind. Excellent. So we can guard that up.
All right, let's talk a bit about our
everything
bottom
stay
lane.
there.
We've got BZZ on the Drow like we talked about. Nice harass in the Darkseer. He's getting some decent farm just courtesy of Ion Shells slowly ticking down, but his experience is really lacking. Now he's going to dip into the jungle, still only level 1, so he has a long way to go to make an impact.
Yeah, he pretty much needs to just go jungle at this point. He's seen RMN down here the whole time thanks to this ward, so he knows he can't come too deep or he's just going to die. Because if he gets disrupted, he's dead. They should have enough control just through the hook and through the silent, or rather the slow to take care of that. Now, Aframosh still chilling here. If Iceberg like orbs, then they would just go on him, right? But Iceberg wisely holding on to it as he has not seen them come back up to the top lane with the Earthshaker yet. Oh, there was the orb.
Hopping in, but he's still got the phase shift, and that's something you want to tease out before you really go in, because if he dodges out that damage from the Fissure, it's pretty difficult. Now, there is going to be the animation. Iceberg not going to be able to go in time. There's the orb on cooldown. He is able to easily hop back over, so going to be wasting a little bit of time from the mid laners, gobbling up a tree and can go right back to farming. So Puck's still going to be on the top of our last hit chart. Marana, I mean, not too far behind. Our big leader, though, is going to be our Ursa, who's just sitting up here having the time of his life. Sand King opts to just buy out the talent and go jungle.
Yeah, when you look at this Earthshaker, you might be thinking, like, some people who maybe weren't around back when Earthshaker was here and he was being picked more often as an offlaner, you might be kind of worried about him right now because you're like, okay, well, this support's just,
regen
like,
rune! Regen rune!
player.
Oh, perfectly timed. Pudge trying to go for the deny to Roche, but will not be able to find it in time. I mean, he was trying everything there. He was rotten. He was scurrying to that stone beast, but Marana still picks up a kill.
That's a big deny, too, because Earthshaker took the top one, assuming Marana was going to get bottom as well. So, going to help out in the mid lane for his puck. No more mana here for at least a little while on our Marana. Rotation coming in. But basically, it's okay that Earthshaker's doing this. He just needs levels.
Pudge is going to be going in, and Iceberg's actually going to go aggressive here. There's a TP out, but yay, little Waning Rift brings in enough damage to kill off the Earthshaker. So, Allusions, they are going to be dropping another hero down in the bottom lane. You've got your Drow Ranger farming, picking up, again, the traditional build. You just go Brown Boots, Wraithband, into that Dragon Lance. Do we see her stop to pick up treads along the way, or is she just going to try to get that extra range as soon as possible?
Yeah, I would say just get your treads right. Standard Drow build, item timing, Helm of the Dominator sometimes too. She doesn't have anyone to help with the use stacks though, because sometimes you can go for that.
Ooh,
Like an
Pudge
axe or
dropping out
something.
the first Dream Coil, dodging out the arrow in the mid lane. Marana leaps to break the coil, just trying to get out of damage range, but Iceberg punishes. Very, very nice play from the Puck in the mid lane.
And this is why you see all this pressure coming from Aframosh too, because it is very disadvantageous to the Marana once the levels start stacking up the puck. Nice dodge of the hook there. Aframosh will stay A-okay. But, yeah, I mean, all you have to do as a puck is just wait, right? Once the levels start stacking up, you're going to have the damage, and you can see him dropping the nulls too. Just ridiculous
Just
once you bottle up
sitting there
so
like,
much
hey,
value.
I'd like to just slowly drink my bottle, not feeling scared of anything. Easy arrow dodge coming out. We're going to have 3 heroes from Illusions just camping towards this mid lane. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, but this is something we saw out of Illusions in their first series the other day where, you know, a lane starts going a little bit tough and they rotate tons of resources. I believe there was a point last series we saw them play where there were like 5 heroes just crouching under the mid tier 1 tower. Oh, Puck going in. They really want this rune. Iceberg is going to get dropped down. They kill off the Earthshaker, but I think Pudge loses life here as well. Sand King comes in with a Burrow Strike trying to save up the life of our little Pudge boy. Now it's going to be Lolik versus 2 heroes here in this mid lane. Another Starstorm dropped on him. Procs hit 2 times. He's got the Burrow Strike forward, but will he give up the chase here? I think that's the smart play.
Yeah, not even really worth his mana at this point. Yeah, no, you're right,
rotating too many resources and not getting XP and not getting farm is just not really the most efficient way to come back from this.
Especially when things like this rotation from the Pudge comes in and he's successfully getting hooks and kills and whatnot. And the Mirana is still doing decent levels. I mean, comparatively, at least she's not like ridiculously down, but still hurting compared to Iceberg.
Oh, there's going to be a fissure, just barely clips onto Iceberg. Going to get hit with some of that burn coming out from the Wyvern, but again, no one's in real trouble. Drow Ranger still free farming down bottom. Ursa still free farming up top. Now he's got himself a prey to go after. He's going scorpion hunting, but really nice tree jukes from Lolik. He's playing Ring Around the Rosie, goes for the Burrow Strike, forces out Ursa's Earth Shock. I don't think Ursa can catch up to this, even with Phase Boots. Sand King is just too far away. Meanwhile, in the jungle, there is going to be a nice fissure connecting onto Yol here. He's going to be trapped up. There's going to be that hook coming in, breaking the Dream Coil. Nice play there from the Pudge. Very, very good target priority. There's going to be a TP out from the Wyvern. They're not looking for that Wyvern. They want this Earthshaker. But there's going to be the surge coming in from this Darkseer, who now has that Ion Shell, doing a lot of tick damage to the Pudge. Pudge is able to get the deny with the Rot. Now Iceberg just trying to man up here. Drow brings in the Gust, brings in the right click. Very nice rotation in from BZZ, making that a 1-for-2 trade, still favoring F5 in the end.
Very much so, especially with the deny. Man, that was very ambitious from the Darkseer. I can understand going for that because you feel like, oh, they're both low. I can do it. I have level 5. Oh, he was only level 4. Okay, level 5, I think you get that kill. But, wow, 8 minutes in, he is still really hurting on the experience. I guess no one to make stacks for him as well, as they've been so busy in the mid lane.
Puck actually going aggressively here, going forward into that illusory orb. May end up regretting this. Again, the haste rune buys them some time. Pudge just walking forward, no dismember yet. Puck loses his life. Unfortunately, that's a misplay coming out. There's the level 6 coming onto the Pudge, though, but can he actually weather the storm? He's going to get smacked on by this Earthshaker, and there's the Cold Embrace to save his life. Pudge should be able to go through. The hook finishes the Earthshaker. So keeping his head in the game there. Very nice work. And he's going to go for the Rot Deny, or at least a Rot Taunt. All right, he's not going to go fully kill himself. Yeah, he's got 700 gold, wants to waddle back to base and go ahead and pick up his next round of items. So very curious fight. Lots of bleeding of resources up here. Puck got very overconfident, and Mirana picks up a little bit of
why that happened as well, too. In case you guys are wondering how Iceberg died there, because I assume he forgot that the projectile can never be disjointed, because once the projectile started coming towards him, he tapped the phase shift and then went back to attacking. So with like a normal attack and a lot of spells, that does work, but Winter Wyverns, both the base projectile and the secondary one, are non-disjointable. So it's always going to get connected on you unless you're still in the phase shift.
Iceberg, he's having some fun here, going back in, trying to focus down the Earthshaker. One more hit would have been enough, but Puck does have to jaunt back to the high ground here and play a little bit safe, at least forcing our little Azimouth to go back into the fountain, pick up that regen. And he's doing pretty well here. He's got himself a soul ring and some brown boots already. Now down bottom, we are going to have a disrupt coming in. Yol just unloads here. They follow up with a gust. I think this is a dead Darkseer. Even if he surges right now, he's still just taking too much damage. So
he's still level 4, and he's not slowing down this Drow in the slightest.
Yeah, full
he's
Dragon
by
Lance
far the
here.
biggest problem. Yeah.
That's going to be Treads coming out right about now. Already has that little band of elf skin. So there we go. Agi Treads picked up. BZZ's on a roll. At this point, this is extremely good farm to have. Mid laner, safe laner, regardless. Levels farm, they're going to be there. Level 8 on the Drow Ranger. Now we're going to have our Lolik here trying to get some farm up, but our Ursa, he's level 8 as well. He's got his phase boots and 2,300 gold, so he's got his blink dagger if that's what he's looking for.
Yeah, I would assume so. It should be one way to help get them back in this game. They can hop on Lolik. If he Burrow Strikes here.
There's going to be a nice Burrow Strike. They've got the follow-up with the Dream Coil if necessary. If the Fissure comes in, there's going to be that Cold Embrace trying to keep the Wyvern alive, but she still goes down. Dismember comes through. Pudge just trying to escape with his life now. Going for the Rot Deny. Taunting him. Nice little break of the Dream Coil there. Connects onto 2. Puck jaunts forward. Does get the kill onto the Earthshaker. Looking for another kill onto the Ursa as well. Very, very nice Waning Rift. Able to put out a little bit of damage, though. Another 1-for-3 trade favoring F5. This Puck is so mobile. Iceberg is having a great time now. Looks like moving towards a Blink Dagger as well.
Yeah, I guess squishier lineup on the other side might not be feeling the need for the Veil. Well, we'll see. Iceberg is definitely a playmaker, right? He's one of those guys that likes those blink first on like TAs and whatnot.
Oh yeah.
So if he opts for that over the Veil, it wouldn't be the most shocking thing, as they're all already pretty squishy to your natural burst as a Puck. He's already at a very high level. Yeah, actually, this is definitely a blink game. Because because level 10 you'll have double in your Waning Rift as well as your Illusory Orb. Against this lineup, you can look how much damage that's just going to be. Something else. Fearo's trying to get something done in the bottom lane. They have the Ion Shell, they'll have a Surge play, they'll have a Blink. So getting on the Drow, the only important thing will be the Gust and then the Disruption and how far away the Shadow Demon is. They don't have vision of him.
Yeah, looks like there's kind of 2 fights going on. Mid lane, they're posturing up to go in this Mirana. Bottom lane, Illusions.
Oh, nice hook.
Oh, Pudge, you
Got him up on the
are
high
Dendy
ground.
incarnate. Very, very nice job there. That angle looked tricky to set up. Now there is going to be an Ursa showing off that Blink Dagger, going out to BZZ, but the Gust forcing him away. He already committed his ulti here, so he's going to be in some serious trouble if Raiding continue to follow up on this. Meanwhile, Sand King picks off the Darkseer, escaping through the jungle. Ursa, again, the next obvious target, but the Blink Dagger just makes it a little too difficult to close the gap right now.
And sometimes, you gotta go sit in that jungle. Darkseer needs things. He has nothing. He doesn't do anything right now. He's level 3 Ion Shell and Surge.
Yeah, rest in peace, buddy.
And it's hard because it's now at a point in the game where the Drow's not, like, when the Drow's sitting in lane and you can't do anything anyway, it's very important that you just get to the jungle, get some stacks going, start spamming some Ion Shells, and get yourself into, like, a headdress or maybe even a mech or some arcane boots so you have some value to add to your team fight when this push is going to come. But now we're losing that window, right? Drow's going to start pushing this lane in all the way, getting this kill. Pudge is already set up for it right now. This is very scary stuff here for the Dire. On the other hand, Aframoosh is fairly farmed on the Earthshaker. He is ahead of the Darkseer at this point. He is level 6. He is the Echo Slam. There is some counter plays to be had, but he has no allies towards his Echo Slam besides Surge, right? So no one has a Force Staff, no abilities that can help him move besides Surge. I'm not sure how successful that'll be.
All right, we're going to have a Dream Coil here in this mid lane. There is going to be our first Winter Wyvern ult of the game. Nice vacuum over the fissure. This is detrimental. They follow up with an Echo Slam. Oh, golly, it's not looking good for F5 right now. There's going to be a nice hook in. They might get Winter Wyvern, goes into that Cold Embrace. Meanwhile, the Ion Shell's doing a number here on Yol. He's going to be hitting the neck as well. Now they're going to be going onto the Pudge. He's one of the lone survivors left on F5. They bring in the Ursa, and they've got the damage. Double kill for the Earthshaker. Our only survivor is the Drow Ranger, who kept her focus on this bottom tower. But that was a massacre of F5 heroes. Illusions looking very, very strong after that first big team fight.
The dream! The Winter Wyvern ult into the Fissure, into the Echo Slam. As long as they stay still long enough, you can just kind of waddle your way up to them. So, very well done. And now, what's better being up against the Drow lineup than denying the Roche? Like, this is fantastic right now.
It's not really denying the Roche, it's getting it onto the Ursa, who's another natural Roche hero.
It's true, but a Drow lineup does nothing without an Aegis, whereas Ursa is still okay. Like, this is just fantastic. It will be a
God,
Shadow Blade.
my camera broke. It's now dragging vigorously to the right.
Oh, yeah, that happens.
Oh, God,
I hope
okay,
you
we're
can get back in.
disconnecting. Cover me, mod packs.
Okay, well, Machiavelli's getting bashed up here, and the pit is the Winter Wyvern. There's going to be a Fisher to hold back BZZ. He's chasing after, blink forward from Iceberg. Everyone's still alive, but Aframosh gets the orb and the silence. He goes down. Roche is now left uncontested as Puck brings down the Earthshaker, and everyone else from the Dire side will escape.
Oh, God, it's still going. I'm not hitting any buttons.
This has happened to me, too.
Oh, God, what do I do? Do I reboot Dota?
Do you have a controller plugged in?
I do not. All right, go
Okay,
into
that
console.
happens sometimes. You'll have to kill the game. You'll
All
have
right,
to
unfortunately,
close it down.
cover me again, mod packs. We're going under.
Oh, Mirana's going in. Goes for the
Oh,
lead
God,
play.
I'm sorry. I'm
Actually,
sorry. I'm
kills
sorry.
it.
No,
Oh,
I can't do it.
She actually did it. She leapt in and stole the Roche kill and the Aegis. Now, in comes Firo. He gets the kill with the Ursa with a DD rune on the Pudge. Now moving on to UU.
Oh,
That's
God.
Yol. Almost down. Iceberg brings down the Ursa. They're going to get the Aegis now off the Mirana. Winter's Curse comes in, but it's a little bit too late to save the Mirana. Machiavelli getting right-clicked out by the Drow. Oh, he's going to go down, too.
Oh, God, no.
There's a vacuum. There's a wall. Earthshaker comes through, blows up the Puck. Ion Shell now on top of Janoon. He's chased down on the BZZ, and they'll get the kill with the Illusions and the Ion Shell. And that's a 3-for-4 Aegis, so kind of 4-for-4 trade. Aframosh is the one who comes out on top with 700 gold, 900 for that Darkseer, so two of our down-and-out heroes have now fully recovered.
Oh, God, what is this? What is this
almost
nonsense?
blink.
Oh,
you
it's
still
still
doing it?
happening. Yeah, hold on. Let me reset all my binds. Okay, we're good. Unplugging and replugging the keyboard. No, it's still going. I'm not hitting anything. It's just going. What
That
is
happened to me
this?
one time, too.
I just rebooted all of Dota and it's still happening.
And there's no controller.
There's no controller plugged in. I'm now holding the left key, just trying to keep the camera straight. Oh, God. Okay. All right.
And you tried unplugging the keyboard?
Yeah, it's just slowly moving. All right, here we
All
go.
right.
Here we go. Let's try it with
You got
fucked up
this.
camera controls. We are going to have the Mirana here. She goes into the Moonlight Shadow. Will the Fade Time be enough? The Pudge Rot chasing her down. They go for the dust, and they will be able to collect the Shadow Poison and get the kill. I am just holding the left key, praying that the camera doesn't start to spring to the left. Oh, God. Why do good things happen to bad people? Or vice versa. Either way. Can you recap that fight that we missed?
Basically, Mirana jumped in, killed Roche, then she took the Aegis. It was pretty sick. Then she ends up dying. Ursa comes in, gets killed on the Pudge. And near the end, in the end, it's a big win for Illusions because they stacked up a bunch of gold in the Earthshaker, who now has his Blink Dagger and Echo Slam available. So he's ready to counter fight up against into these towers at this point.
It won't stop going to the right. Why?
I don't know. That happened to me too once, and I forgot how I fixed it.
I've had it once where it was just going down repeatedly, and then I just disconnected and reconnected and it fixed it. But now it just seems to be pretty adamant that it's just correct to go to the right side of the screen. All right, we're gonna have a fight here. I will do my best. Moving in, we have a smoked up Winter Wyvern. Wants to make something happen. Drow Rangers could be a nice target to go on here. They get the lockdown. Blink forward from the Ursa, but the save comes in from the Pudge. Oh, there's going to be the Burrow Epi ripping apart these heroes. The Fissure and the Echo Slam do a number, though. A nice vacuum wall kills off 3. F5 suddenly crumbling here. They can't get the bash onto the Shadow Demon, so that's going to be the end of the engage there. Drow Ranger does survive once again down in the bottom lane, but that was just Illusions coming in and ripping F5 a new one.
Man, Aframosh. Unreal. I mean, this is what happens when your Earthshaker suddenly to blink at 16 minutes at the support position. Excellent teamwork coming from everyone. Machiavelli and the Winter Wyvern being there for all these fights. Big vacuums now coming out from our Darkseer. The only one point in the Surge really helping out. Not the most common build, of course, especially when you're having a rough time in the lane. Usually you'll see that second point especially, but this was so nice.
No, camera, stop. Why?
Trying to tame that thing.
It's like, it's fine during team fights, and then it just wants to go right. I don't understand it. Okay, here we go. We're going to have Mirana jungling. She is going to be moving towards that Aghanim Scepter, needs about 500 more gold, and then she's going to be really online. There's going to be a follow-up here. They do trap this Sand King on the side of the Fissure. He's able to get the Burrow Strike underneath, and Pudge TP's in. There's going to be that Arctic burn coming through as, oh man, you could feel that Aframuth really wanted to go for that, but
is he gonna do it? Is he gonna do it?
He's gonna think about it. Oh, Sand King goes in, lands the stun. Gonna be going back. They bring in the Shadow Demon. He's got that Disrupt available, but deciding who to hold it on. Now Pudge gonna be running away from these heroes. Mirana dropping the Starstorm. It's not gonna be the Axe, but there's gonna be the Surge coming in. The Ion Shell tick might just be enough, but another nice disruption going in for the hook, grabbing the Illusion. So they won't be able to find this Darkseer, but either way, still a decent little hold there from F5, taking out the Ursa, and they don't end up losing anything in return. In fact, BZZ finding some space all to himself in the bottom lane to finish off the tier 2 tower.
Wow, that is a huge pickup. I guess not expecting to dig on or something, and the Ursa goes down? Damn.
That's a Dagon on the puck. There we go, Dagon level 1. Polishing off that Darkseer. They couldn't accomplish the top lane, but the burst damage here from F5 in the bottom lane was just enough.
Is it fixed now?
It's fine most of the time, and then it just sometimes snaps to the right. It has nothing to do with my right key. Don't tell me to press the right key. I tried that first. It's just a bug with Dota TV, I guess. I had it once pulling down. But
Yeah, I've had weird ones too before. Sometimes from alt tabbing, it would like never go away for me. You know, Dota TV is quite the beast, guys.
yeah, it's not a sticky keyboard, guys. I know how to fix that.
Either way. Aghanim Scepter is now done. This is given so much space over this dire side. Their heroes are getting items. Radiant are still ahead, as you can see. They can just blow up an Ursa who's all alone. So there is still a lot of pressure here on this Earthshaker, this Darkseer, and this Winter Wyvern.
Alright, so Ursa here, he's farming up. He's got his Blink Dagger. He's got his Mask of Madness. 1,400 more gold. Does he go for an Ags here? Does he go for, a Basher? What is he looking for to get the most out of this early game Ursa that's now starting off really, really well? Oh, scan on the Radiant heroes.
The Mask of Madness is risky, rather than just staying with the normal Morbid and going for like a Basher or something. I think Basher is definitely a very good item. It's good up against the Drow. It's good up against the Puck. You can just get that one lucky bit. Continuous chain stuns as well as they're on top. He might echo this.
Nice dodge. The arrow's not going to work out. Now, nice Dream Coil connecting onto 3. Unfortunately, Puck still loses his life. Is there any more follow-up for F5? They're just scooting their boot right out of here. Lalik just goes and burrow strikes to get as far away as possible.
Yeah, even a 5-man epi's not going to do anything there, I don't think. Just not quite enough damage. That was weird. He orbed in, I guess, or something, because he was stuck underneath the Earthshaker while in phase shift. He didn't have orb available or anything, so down he goes.
All right, so BZZ here picks up the Shadow Blade. He's had that for a long while, had it clearing out the top lane as well. Now going to be flying in. Next round of goodies. It's going to be the Force Staff and the Hurricane Pike recipe. So Drow Ranger going to get a little bit more of that mobility. Aframuth goes in. He's looking for the kill onto this Pudge, but it might come back and bite him. That hook, not quite sure how that connected, but
nice
you know,
vacuum.
seems balanced. Either way, the wall and the vacuum not going to be enough to drive back this duo.
Close.
Was that Gust into a connecting hook? Because that seems like the hook hitbox.
Yeah, there's some
way
weird
off.
interactions with Gust. Gust does things that, with movement that, like Gust and skewers and all that fun stuff can do some interesting mechanics, so I'm not sure what that was. But I'll just blame it on Gust.
Blame it on my camera work here. All
Iceberg
right, there's
down
going to
bottom.
be a nice little Dream Coil here. Latch, and once again, short cooldown on that Dream Coil, so you can go in and get little picks like that without it being too costly. Just about a minute left, and Iceberg can go and do that all again. Picks up the recipe for another Dagon. So, I mean, is this just Puck grinding to Dagon 5 and not finishing that Veil?
It's starting to look that way. Again, it is a very squishy lineup.
Yeah, I mean, I
They
feel like the
don't
Veil
build
would just
strength
amplify,
items.
and at one point, Puck did have 2 null tallies.
That is true.
So selling a null tally to go in for the Dagon, and
Annie, you're not a Dagon builder, are you? See, she's nice, guys.
No, I know you build it up, but you're not going to buy a third one and then build the Dagon and go for the Veil. I don't know. Every time I've seen the Dagon build, I see Veil first just to amplify that damage.
I know what you're saying. I know what you're saying.
I do know how Dagon builds. I know it has a null tally in it.
I thought you were just a kind person that didn't build such an awful item.
I
was
don't
giving you some
build
credit.
Dagons. My only Dagon experience is mid Skywrath, and I'm like, oh crap, I'm falling off. Better just fuck them all.
I like that. Use that damage amp, right? That's good.
Oh yeah.
The maybe just because the Sand King will build it at some point next. Nah, he should buy Yules. Yeah, he definitely needs a Yules for this combo breaker. It's definitely questionable. Veil would have amplified, of course, your other 2 spells, so it gives you a lot of value other than a Dagon. It would have helped out the Sand King too, which would help in these like big team fights and whatnot. But the fact that you can bring down one aspect of this combo.
Shadow Demon just gets to sit on the cliff and watch this all go down. I mean, he doesn't have long for himself, but he saves the rest of his team by proxy, and maybe even getting a nice little initiation coming through. They've got the Shadow Demon killed, but will it be enough to continue the fight? They bring in BZZ, lands a double man gust, and they do have the Frost arrows to go and finish off the Winter Wyvern on the back lines. There is
nice
going to be the
kite.
Pudge landing a hook, landing a dismember, and he's able to find a kill on the Darkseer, courtesy of the Puck helping out. Now another Burrow Strike here. They got to have the vision, though. They got to wait for the Moonlight Shadow to expire. There's going to be the Ursa jumping in onto BZZ, but a nice Dream Coil connecting onto 3. Oh, Iceberg brings the damage in. They lose BZZ. Leap away from the Mirana with a fraction of her health, but she should be fine. Tosses out an arrow, and it looks like it's not going to connect onto the Pudge. He goes down anyway. Now they're looking for the kill onto Firo here, but he's still angry. He's got no more ult. He does have the Mask of Madness, but he's going to get stuck in place and nuked to death. So how did Mirana go down in the back line?
The Caustic.
Oh,
What a hero.
the Caustic Burst.
Sand King's
Strikes
actually
again.
ridiculous.
Either way, that's a 5-man wipe. They lose their Drow early on in the fight, which is a little unfortunate, but F5 still have the damage to bring it home, courtesy of Iceberg on the Puck.
And Caustic is ridiculous. If I right-click you, you're going to take 100 damage when you try to run away. Haha. It's actually like almost as annoying as Skywrath Mage.
Don't say that.
Seriously.
Skywrath is a beautiful flower. Now, Puck going forward, dropping that Dagon. The mech is going to save Darkseer's life here, but he's going to be forced back, having to go regen. It just sucks for him right now. He can't get a whole lot accomplished, still sitting on the arcane boots, not even full Greaves now at 25 minutes.
Yeah, I think he needs Blink to help, because they know the game relies on his Wombo combo with everyone, right?
Mm-hmm.
Speaking of which, there's that Yule Scepter for the Sand King. So now that we have almost Dagon 5 on the Puck, we have a Yule Scepter on the Sand King, we have a Dream Coil in the mid lane.
Puck is just
but he
making
dodged
it happen here. Oh, man. This is just so annoying. If you're in Illusion's position, how do you stop Iceberg from just doing that over and over and over again while
That's
BZZ
the problem,
farms?
right? You can't. You just you throw some wards up and whatnot. The But yeah, now they have combo breakers. Like Dual Scepter on the Sand King, this Dagon. If you can eliminate a single hero just like they did the Earthshaker, then the whole fight's over, right?
Looks like Radiant, they're wrapping around. They can get the kill on the Ursa here. It's going to be difficult. He has his ult, but, I mean, is it even going to help? He just sits there, buys out, and takes it, going in for that BKB, deciding that magic damage, especially from this puck, is becoming way too much of a nuisance.
Yeah, he is rocking that 13k net worth, 11.4 on the Drow. Ursa, the next, well, rather the highest person on the Dire is only 9.3, so about 4k behind this wildly out of control Iceberg.
Oh, there's going to be the Winter's Curse, but Winter Wyvern going to be punished for that. They go into the Dismember, and it's just Sand King. He's totally fine. I mean, he's going to get disrupted up. Just a nice back wall, though, into that Echo Slam. So decent amount of damage coming out. F5. They lose their Shadow Demon. Their Sand King's now booking it away. Pudge as well, just popping into that hood, trying to get some magic resist. For now, it's not going to be enough. They lose the Pudge, but Drow Ranger, in the meantime, finishes off Roshan, gets an Aegis. So 2 supports for a free farming Drow. Still not that bad. And there we go. Puck bringing it home. Zip zapping
Oh, he stops
that Winter
the TP.
Wyvern. Oh, God, the arrow connecting as well. Okay. So they lose the Sand King, but Puck is able to get a double kill pretty easily. Again, Sand King going down to secure Puck a double kill. That's still worthwhile. Overall fight recap is going to be just slightly in favor of Illusions in terms of the gold swing, but again, slotting your Puck up is pretty fantastic. Now almost a 10,000 net worth lead going the way of F5.
Yeah, and of course, using that space there, BZ getting that Aegis, as you were just mentioning. Very important once again for Drought lineup. So, everything will be back online in a moment. E-Blade being worked on by Iceberg to, of course, you know, just got to get some more burst, right? Not quite enough, I would say. And
I mean,
they can just start marching up.
How much, you're the mathy guy, how much does E-Blade Dagon 5 do? Is that just...
well, it's 40%, right? So increased 40, it's 800 damage. That's a lot of damage.
That
would add like 320 or something like that. 333. Something along those
I went
lines.
to
So
North
1100
American public
and some.
schools. I am not in a position to talk math right now.
His total, well, let's see what his total magic burst is. So around, I'm just going to estimate here because that's stupid. I'm not going to waste all my time. It would be like, what, 1500 damage altogether? Actually, it'd be more than that. Wow, that's a lot of damage.
Puck is going to be going in. Lands the silence onto the Ursa, but not going to be follow-up there. Again, Iceberg just playing so slippery, distracting Illusions, keeping them on their toes. Now we could see an initiation onto our Mirana up here. She herself has that Ghost Scepter, trying to get the most out of her Starstorm eventually, but it's kind of a battle of the magic damage right now, and I think Iceberg's winning.
Yeah, you could say that. You know, just maybe, right? So he does 18. It'd be 1800 minus 25% for the resistance, ish, right? If you're estimating. So you start looking at the Dire Side heroes. They have some value cloaks and hoods would be nice. It's probably that time in the game.
Yep. We do have that BKB on the Ursa. We'll see if he's going to pop in here. BCC going to get hooked back. Oh, will he live, though? The vacuum in forces out that Aegis on the Drow Ranger.
Echo Slam needs to be huge.
The Echo Slam, can it be huge? It connects onto all of them. They're melting, and they can't do anything about it. That's going to be Drow dead. Everyone but the Puck just hitting the deck. And now Puck just going as far away from this as possible. Doesn't have any real way to get out of here. No TP, has the blink. He's just going to go further and further into this tree line, but he is effectively... Oh, don't you do it! The arrow not going to connect, but they know exactly where he's coming back to. It's a 5-man wipe. Illusions. They lose nothing in that fight. A gorgeous back wall into a gorgeous Echo Slam set up by a beautiful Winter's Curse. Illusions are playing like a team. This is a very, very different game than I was expecting to see.
All they needed was that big vacuum or that big Winter's Curse, and they actually got it. Like, that's the only way you lose that is F5, right? And unfortunately, that Pudge Hook ended up being the biggest problem, because typically when you have this Drow and you send her up like that with the Aegis, the whole point is that she goes down, and before she's back up, that's when you all like jump in, right? You get far enough into the base that you're like pushing. You're like the blitz forwards that allows her to respawn behind you and start dishing out all that damage, and you stay split. You don't allow that big wombo combo to happen, but instead they saved her, brought her right back at all 5 of them, and then in this awkward moment of, oh shit, we're about to get jumped on, what do we do? And they all walk up the
jumping
stairs.
on. Lolik tries to be a hero. He's going to get saved temporarily by his Shadow Demon. I don't think that's going to last long. He pops into his Sandstorm, but he's just dropped by the Mirana. Gust connecting onto 2. There's going to be that arrow reinitiating. Not going to hit onto anyone on the Radiant side except for an unfortunate little creep. But it's looking like Illusions. They're about to press high ground here. They know there's going to be no Sand King up for 45 more seconds. Look at this net worth chart. It just drops off a freaking cliff.
The Wombo combo. These are the dream heroes. This is like a Naga game without the Naga, where you're just delaying till the push and supports win you the game up on the hill and stuff like that. But instead they have an Ursa. It's just insane. Afromosh is carrying.
Yeah,
along with everyone else. I mean, they're all
Earthshaker.
setting up the Earthshake, the Earthshaker for the Echoes for sure.
I mean, it is not a meta hero. It's ultra situational, but I think this may just be the perfect situation. Now, Darkseer, unfortunately, maybe doesn't die. Oh, okay. We drop the Dag in here, but Puck is going to hop out, jaunts to the Illusion Orbit, right into the open jaws of the Ursa. There's going to be that Winter's Curse to hold him in place. The arrow going to fly on through from the Mirana. Hook back in, though, Pudge, making some space. And there's going to be that phase shift into Jaunt, so Puck should be able to get out okay. That was very well played by Illusions, but F5 just one-upped them with that Pudge hook right there.
Yeah, close. They're trying to keep these combinations going, right? Very last second, the stuns and everything. It is important that during Winter's Curse, you can still stun people. So you can still like set up and everything, even if it won't do the damage with Afromosh was going for. But
Ursa hops into that BKB, and there's going to be some follow-up perhaps coming in from the Radiant. They've got that Fisher drop onto Lalik, who could channel up his Epi and just follow in. TP out from the Earthshaker, and that leaves Winter Wyvern all alone, surrounded upon by 5 heroes. Easy pickings there for the Drow Ranger, who's now sitting on a Maelstrom. Do we see her go full Mjolnir? Do we see the Aghanim Scepter pick up next?
Mant, like...
I mean, yeah, he's got
I
that
would be
casual
worried about
Yasha,
defensive
but
stuff. I would buy a BKB, honestly. Like, even though you have these other components and everything, like you have half a Manta and you have half a Mjolnir, you don't have anything into a Aghanim Scepter. I feel like you just need BKB, right? Like, if you can break up this combination and allow some space for Iceberg to get in those back
Puck,
lines.
please have mercy here on this Ursa. He pops into his ult. He doesn't have the BKB available
He's
just
dead.
yet. But Iceberg, oh golly gee, somehow lives through the initial damage, and it looks like the Earthshaker could be going down as well. Earthshaker wants to finish off the Puck, but won't be able to.
They won.
Very, very nice drinks from that bottle. This is looking ugly here as Darkseer goes down in that mid lane to the Drow Ranger, who's now hitting very, very hard, 2,600 gold. Could finish off that Mantha just about now. Could look towards that Aghanim Scepter.
They lost, Annie. It's over.
It's not over, Mott
They
Pax.
echoed a Puck and didn't kill him. It's over.
It's not over until Pudge dies. And now we're going to see August returning in. That Winter Wyvern just dragged into the clutches of F5. Puck's still alive somehow. Probably shouldn't be. This is Iceberg.
Lolic's a god, honestly.
Lolik is a god.
Like, this game should be over. Or not necessarily over. This game should still be going, because the Puck should have died there, but Lolik had god plays. And then you lost the fight to a Drow this close to your base.
They're going back in. Lolik just cleaning up. That is a full lane of racks going the way of F5. Mirana, the only hero up on the back lines. Puck just sitting there, dagging creeps, having a good time with it. There's going to be, again, Mirana revealing herself, wanting to find something. Now has the arrow ready, squirting it down that bottom lane, but nope, no one going to be latching onto that. Now our BZZ is sitting here, doesn't have a TP, but I don't think anyone's coming onto this cliff to examine.
Oh! BZZ? Auto attacks?
You fucking animal? What? Okay, there's going to be that vacuum in, but already used the Hurricane Pike to get out. And now has that Shadow Blade, but has to watch the active cooldown again. Could be in some trouble hobbling into this side of the trees. BZZ is just having so much fun, but now all of Illusions are here. The Dire Scan just barely not going to clip onto BZZ. So feeling comfortable hiding in these trees now with a full Mjolnir after that stop at the secret shop.
All right, close stuff, close stuff. See if ends up running into these guys.
Hopefully just running straight on through, but again, that Shadow Blade active can be brutal. So hobbling into the trees, I mean, that's BZZ's plan, is just go unseen, wait for Shadow Blade cooldown, and now finally picking up a TP and getting home. So Drow Rangers, great adventures. that was something else.
Living. Space, Lolik, pushing up the top lane. He's got boots of travel, so they can keep putting on this pressure. These are the kind of items you want when you're up at racks. And the game is very hard for the side
Game
of
is hard.
Illusions.
There was a dip where it seemed like if Illusions had another cohesive team fight, it could be really in their favor. But now net worth is back up at about 10,000 overall XP. Similar story. So our levels are really starting to show a discrepancy here. Puck, Drow, and the Sand King all have their level 2 ultis, whereas Earthshaker, Darkseer, those big team fight combo ultis are still only level 2.
Can I just say, I don't understand why Fisher gets the extra range. For some reason, because you know how it's all like point target spells and stuff like that, right? But when you think about Fisher, for me, it seems odd that you get bonus range out of that, considering it's like a point target, but no matter where you target it, it always goes the same range anyway, if that makes sense. Like, if you click it next to yourself, it obviously still goes the full duration of a Fisher, but it's not, you know? It's kind of one of those weird spells that I was like surprised by how Aether Lens works that it gets it, but now he has longer Fishers.
I like it. I think it's good. Now, Pudge trapped on a cliff is going to be able to force staff himself down. Puck comes in. Nice triple man silence. The Moonlight Shadow to come, and they will be able to grab down Firo, but that just brings the problem closer to F5. They're going to be able to go, and there's BKB. BZZ in some serious trouble. Will get disrupted up by Yol, trying to buy some time. Meanwhile, Iceberg on a mega kill streak. There's going to be the wall that kills off Yol. BZZ in some trouble as well. Will end up going down, but, oh man, Pudge goes in, lands a great hook, but unfortunately takes Darkseer out of the epicenter coming out from the Sand King. So maybe cost a kill on that. Darkseer is now running around. That might have been fight losing, as Firo is going to be still looking to get the kill onto Iceberg, who's stunned up next to the Fissure. Pudge, now the lone survivor, hops into that little Hood of Defiance. Looks like he's going to be able to waddle himself to freedom for now, but Earthshaker, he's going to have none of that. There we go. Beat bopping up. Pudge looking for that self-deny, but not going to find it. The big thing to point out in that fight was that Sand King channeling up the epicenter, going in towards this fight over here. Pudge hooks in the Darkseer, ends up going for the dismember on him, but keeps Darkseer alive, doesn't subject him to the epi damage, which allows him to go surge around, vac wall, and get all those kills. Very unfortunate play for F5.
Firo. All right, he was actually close to getting like double bash death. That was a little scary, but he'll be fine.
It's all good.
Do you remember that Sven? Were you casting the game with me?
I think that was Sayori.
Oh.
I think I watched that and I was just like sitting at my computer like.
Oh, that was so good. I can't remember. I think they lost. I don't know. Maybe they won. No, it was like they could have won, but then they ended up winning anyway. But either way. So, huge fight in the mid though still for Illusions. Even though it's not at their base, they're not getting objectives. It's just the fact that non-stop push can't keep coming. They have to keep up the wombo combo. It's going to be very difficult now that there's going to be some bigger items up on the side of F5, because they are going to be looking for Aframos. They are going to be looking for Machiavelli and trying to bring them down before they can help out. So defensive items on them are super important. That's why you see this Glimmer Cape probably going to be a blink next for the Wyvern, I'd imagine, so that they can keep up the wombo combos and keep him alive as well. The plate mail for a Lotus Orb is going to be sick too, to unsilence himself for Afromotion.
Mid lane, it's all about to go down. They drop the Fissure. Firo, he's still angry. He's got that Aegis ready to go, but unfortunately not able to get the kill onto the Drow Ranger, as Shadow Demon's there with a nice little disruption. Look at these illusions plinking apart that Winter Wyvern. It's getting tough.
We haven't seen much of the illusion CJ, because they don't really have the best hero for it. I mean, Drow's okay. She also can build stats, but for the most part, she's built raw damage this game.
There's going to be that Moonlight Shadow used, but probably not going to be an engage here. Looks like the rest of F5, the non-engaging members, are just going to be walking down towards this bottom lane, ready to push it out. They bring in their Sand King, they bring in their Pudge to try to get a couple of pickoffs here. Meanwhile, there's going to be some clear out in the top lane, but we're approaching that late game
Oh, look at this play down bottom, though, the Invis.
Oh, yeah, they're going in. Rest in peace, Marana.
Oh! I can't believe they didn't have the damage.
They had a lockdown for so many seconds, and it may cost them their life here. There's going to be that hook back. Sand King goes in, but because the hook, he also used that Burrow Strike, so a couple of resources a little bit wasted now from the Radiant Pudge. Could be going in, taking that Arctic Burn, just going for that Rot Deny. Can he get it? He goes for the hook, but is killed off by the Winter Wyvern. Down bottom, it looks like they're not able to find the other half of that duo. The Sand King escapes, but it seems like F5 bleeding unnecessarily in these engages.
Yeah, it was a good play by the Pudge, too, to run north, because you know you're dead anyway. Like, you're not going to escape going south. All south does is keep them close to your Sand King, more resources heading towards him. So if you know you're dead, guys, please run away from your allies. Don't just, like, take away the save your buddy syndrome from your friend.
Dude, I'm still getting over that cheese Marana. Oh, boy. There's going to be Ursa double damaged up, wrapping around onto some Radiant heroes. Puck thinks he's being sneaky. They go in, but there's going to be that Echo Slam dropped. Puck in some serious danger. There's going to be the Ursa coming in, slapping apart. Oh, golly gee, Yol hits the deck as well. Only the Drow Ranger left alive, and she's going to be stuck in the trees. Slap down, 1 hit, 2 hit, 3 is all it takes to secure a double kill for the Mirana. And F5, once again, team wipe. This is going to be the net worth going in favor of Illusions for the first time this game.
Well, I guess, you know, this lineup was bound to fall off eventually. I really thought they were going to get 2 racks when they got that first fight. Yeah, maybe it was just the fact that Puck was so low that it was kind of scary with the remaining heroes and stuff like that, so they couldn't do any sort of like a double push or anything, and they are heavily lacking on push. It is literally just Drow that sieges bases, so perhaps that's what it was. But yeah, the fact that they only got the single racks looks like it just won't be enough this game. See if they can claw themselves back, because now they are on the back foot. They're the ones who are going to have to defend high ground. They have a lot of good tools themselves, the epicenter, the hooks. And, well, there's a... Ooh, missed Fisher there this time.
Ursa, please relax. The hook is going to...
Do you really want that guy?
I don't think you want to bring the Ursa closer to you. I mean, he's going to be going in, has his ulti ready to spend, has the BKB once he drops out as well. So the fight's now going to take place behind the tier 3s. We're fighting behind racks, folks. And the tier 2's not even down. Firo is going to be moonlight shadowing and just trying to get out as quickly as possible. Winter Wyvern limping forward. Power Shot's going to do a number on her, but, well, it's only going to be a little bit of delayed time. Sand King moving forward into the Burrow Strike. Unfortunately, not going to clip onto the Winter Wyvern. There's going to be the BKB out from the Ursa, finishes off the tower, and Hook doesn't latch from that Pudge now. Oh, Sand King moving forward, just really wants to find this Winter Wyvern. She's trying to flap onto that high ground, but does not make it quite in time. Takes a Shadow Poison stack, and should that Caustic here. Tries to TP up, the Puck gets the kill, and meanwhile, they're looking to go onto Firo. They get the Dismember, and Sand King gets the kill for that one. Drow Ranger finishes up the Ancients as well, so nice little fight there coming out from F5. Illusions overstayed their welcome, and that was an unnecessarily deep fight.
No dives. Arvin, man. He just might have saved the whole game.
Why is this game going the way it is, Pax?
I couldn't tell you, but the hook of the Ursa, if Ursa just runs away, then it's not a big deal, but staying around to fight, the Shadow Demon being there too with the Glimmer Cape, they played really nicely to kite them around inside the base. All the supports took a bunch of damage from that tier 3 tower because they're all just diving, like, oh, I'll help you. Oh, we can get this kill, and then we can, like, take the racks or something. And it was such a tempting buyback, too. Shout out to BZZ holding that so long.
Look at that. Oh, Jesus. That looks like it hurt. Drow Ranger is going to be dead for 80 seconds. No buyback now. They're looking for the Puck as well. Pops to the BKB form. Doesn't have that Dream Coil yet. Tries to go in. Tries to Dagon down the Earthshaker. But unfortunately, they just don't have quite enough damage. Puck's still alive for now, but the Fissure clips onto the Sand King, who's going to be locked in place. Killed off. Nice little kill there from the Mirana. She is really shaping up now with that completed Eth Blade. She is moving forward. It's looking really difficult. These fights are just so back and forth in nature. Now Pudge walking through the river wants to bait out the Mirana, who blinks forward. Now that's exactly what the Radiant were looking for. Meanwhile, Puck still fighting on these back lines, wants to drop onto Winter Wyvern. The Dagon 5 is enough, but can Puck actually get out of this? Gonna get Yuled up by this Earthshaker, pops into the Dream Coil, but iced by the arrow. Oh, lordy lord. It's gonna be a 3-for-1 now. What started as a nice little pickoff, it's just... This XP chart is a hot mess.
He had phase. I don't know what he was waiting for. I guess, well, so we can comment on one thing about the Puck build, right? He has no Yules, so he's not as slippery as he'd usually be. And so you're not getting that totally unkillable Puck situation. And that could be one thing. Now, he went full damage because I think he felt the game had to end sooner, which it did. And they're now in this case where Earthshaker is a ridiculous hero when he gets all these items.
They're going forward. Nice little hook there from the Pudge, but with that Lotus Orb, dismembering is not going to be a fun thing to do. Earthshaker is killed off. Now, this is a nice window for F5 to push, but they've only got 2 heroes up. Going against this BKB'd Ursa. Mirana is still healthy, still fighting. They've forced Staff Pudge forward, and there's going to be the Sand King to go catch out this Darkseer. But Darkseer, he's so slippery, goes for the vacuum. They are able to get that dismember long range there, courtesy of the Pudge Ether Lens. And finally, they get something for their troubles, but they still lose half their racks. And Puck is still not coming back for 30 seconds.
Dota, I guess.
Dota is
that what this is?
Complicated
This is
game.
Interesting stuff. Can never say anything with certainty at this point, I suppose. I think F5 have a very hard time still pushing these buildings, though. Like, it's gotten to the point where there's, like, the Glimmer Cape on Machiavelli, again, like, he can kind of sneak in through the sidelines. the items on the Earthshaker, who will be back online with Echo Slam and whatnot by the time they'll be back. That arrow actually hits. It's kind of funny.
I mean, there's not going to be follow-up to it, but Mirana's probably sitting there snickering to herself.
All right, what do we got here? Instant Roche. Will you bless the Radiant side? Oh, it's actually 8 seconds.
That is a very nice Roche timing.
Do they have no helms? They have nothing to scout this though. They have just like passing by shadow poisons and whatnot. Nice hook,
that
Machiavelli.
is virtually the quickest Roche they can possibly get. Now, do they have the follow-up from Winter Wyvern? They got the dust. They are able to go through. Yeah.
Am I crazy? He was definitely dusted.
They got it. They got it. Don't worry about it. BZZ, though, is going to clip by the Fisher. Goes in for the Hex. Oh, golly gee, they dropped the damage. That Piggy is just iced. Now they're going to have to... Oh, no, it's damage. It's too much damage. They bring in the Epicenter. The arrow not going to connect onto the puck, able to phase shift that one out, but that's going to be Iceberg now running for his life. Ends up dropping the F blade, but oh god, the puck is still so squishy. It's hard to go in. Firo focusing on the punch in the backlines. They are going to bring an Iceberg, jumping up to the high ground, and will they be able to get this Ursa? They are able to do so with that Dagon. And now it's just going to be Yol, end up hitting the deck again. Mirana is beyond godlike. They cannot seem to kill this Mirana, who now shows off her sheep stick with style.
I'm just going to let this keep playing out because everything else is out the window at this point, right?
I don't understand this game of Dota 2. Look at the XP chart. It's just...
Yeah, I know.
It's trying to communicate with us. I see an M. I see a W. Ugh. I don't know.
So no one scouted Roche still. Very important. Drow going down means the Radiant can't take it, but the buyback on the Earthshaker is also very important.
Pudge, one of the tankiest heroes in the game, might just get dropped on here. The Ethereal Blade not going to be used just yet. Mirana didn't pop the Ethereal Blade before the first Starstorm, which unfortunately means she does not get the kill, but just a quick TP up top. Trying to go again onto the Sand King. Now Sand King is going to go Burrow Strike himself forward, but there's going to be some slow but steady picks, and unfortunately not going to get him in time before his Boots of Travels take effect.
Alrighty, living. So, most important thing in the game right now is Iceberg killing Aphromosh. That is like the 1v1. Nothing else in this game matters to me right now. If they can bring down the Earthshaker, they know there's no buyback. And they can just take this one.
Yeah, I mean, this rush has now been up for like a solid 2 minutes, and we're seeing the Radiant poke towards the pit, so maybe they'll send someone in there to scout. Because again, if you have a Roche timer going, you don't expect it to be up this early. You check around, 9-10 minutes. Yeah, it's probably up at that point, but this was a almost instantaneous spawn.
Dire scan
Will
not
not
connect. Oh god, because it's slightly inside the circle. Okay.
Oh, though, there's going to be the Mirana scouted out. Pudge just eats the Abyssal Blade, but they go and they get the Disrupt, and that's the follow-up. They don't, unfortunately, have any other big ultis to drop. There's the Mirana slowly focusing on BZZ, who's going to get hexed. Abyssal dropped. Can the Drow actually get out of this in time? They go for the Yules. Oh, God, it's going to be Drow now. BKB'd up, looking to go onto the Earthshaker. They finally get him down, but... that's going to be Drow Ranger falling as well. Now, in the pit, they're looking to drop more. They want to get down this Dark Seer. Should be able to do so with the magic damage. There's going to be that Epicenter to ensure the kill. Kill secured right there. Shadow Demon ends up going down. Not quite sure what that's all about. I think he went down to the illusion, hitting him from the wall. Now, Mirana is going to be going forward, trying to get the final jump onto the Sand King. Then they bring in the Ursa as well, who blinks forward. Can Lella get the Roshan? Oh, the Burrow Strike to the outside of the pit, but you've got a fast little kitty charging after you. Blink Dagger still on cooldown, Leap still on cooldown. So with these Boots of Travel, Sand King is able to escape, but that does leave this Roshan and the cheese for the Ursa and Mirana.
Wow, Drow going down so early in that fight. That's very important. Maybe not necessarily so early, but she was forced far enough away from the fight that, again, all the damage starts to fall off, even though there's no BKBs. Still pretty hard for Puck to do everything. He knew he had to focus the Earthshaker, and I really like that because he did get him down. But unfortunately, Drow doesn't live, so you have no push potential, and then obviously they lose the whole fight. And yeah,
and Tier
everyone
4s
dead.
Should be easily cleaned up by this Winter Wyvern, but still something to keep your eye on. I mean, that one lane of racks pushed out. The Dire can't leave their base for too long without addressing that. Lawlik, oh my god, that limping Sand King at fast movement speed looks so stupid. But either way, gonna be able to escape. Again, these Boots of Travels have made Sand King's life so much easier.
Yeah, split push, name of the game. Once you have a single Rax, like that's the only thing that's kept them in this game, right? Because if they didn't have this Rax, they would likely be losing like free Rax during some of these other parts. And similarly, their whole melee being down means that they have to keep pushing up mid the whole time. Makes it a little bit easier for these engagements on the Dire. It's an interesting one. Dire now getting some more bots onto our Ursa, so he is Aegis Blink bots. The only thing he's missing is ditching this Mask of Madness for like Lincoln's. No, Lincoln doesn't do anything in this game. I'm not sure what he's gonna buy. Diffusal probably. Yeah, Diffusal's really good actually. Because then once his BKB, because it's down to 5 seconds now, so he could use that to chase people and remove all the silences off himself. So I would imagine that will be his next pickup. And I suppose he can still burn out the Aegis too, so he'll still have his mom for a bit.
I'm excited to see how this plays out, because this has been a very up and down game so far. Dire, they look like they're just ready to go in and finally try that high ground siege, but this is going to be a game of chicken. Who backs off first? The Radiant, they've got some crazy push power with that Shadow Demon Drow combo. So, I don't know. We're going to see Mirana start the siege, start nailing on that tier 3 tower. Will Radiant
Both teams
back
see
off?
each other as well, which is important. Like, the Radiant saw these heroes down here.
Ursa's the first to back off, and that means F5 lose a
he
huge
had to
chunk of
cancel.
the damage.
Wonder Wyvern had to cancel his TP.
Winter Wyvern cancels the TP. Now there is going to be the Drow Ranger just focusing down this tower. It's going down quickly, and they do know that there are going to be rest of the heroes in the mix. They've got that Echo Slam available. Now they're going to be moving forward. They actually hold Aftermath in time just to finish off that tier 3 tower, and now F5 want to back off with minimal losses, but BZZ might be stuck. It's going to get vacuumed out of danger.
Combo breaker?
Yeah, that's what it seems like to me. Now, on the back lines, there is going to be Firo continuing to move forward, wanting to get the pick onto that Sand King, who now rotates around. And there's going to be Drow on the back line, still deciding whether to go in or out here. Puck is going to phase shift out of existence. They want to get the pick on the Ursa, and they should be able to do so. Aegis pops in midair while his corpse hits the deck. Now
Malk is still holding Yules. They have the Winter's Curse.
They're going in.
Oh,
They get the Winter Wyvern down, so Winter's Curse is not going to be a factor. Now Puck needs to be careful here. Will he be able to get away in time? Looks like Iceberg will get wasted, but BZZ wants to move forward onto the Mirana. Unfortunately, bit off way more than he can chew. The Hurricane Pipe won't keep you safe from now. Echo Slam dropped, dancing on the Drow's corpse. It's going to be a 1 for 2. Yeah, they burn the Aegis, but they end up losing their damage dealers in the process.
Okay, get the tier 3. Ursa, though, with those bots already down the bottom lane, can be pushing in, so this should force out a buyback from, I would imagine, the Puck. They did clean up that Rax, too. Very important during that whole engagement. So, that was that? Because Mirana got back in time, right? Yes, that was just purely creeps. Mirana just getting the damage onto the tower that should allow the creeps to clean it all up.
This is
So, well
a
done.
game of Dota 2.
Yeah, that was such a nice play from Armen, though. Like, I feel bad for the Radiant losing that engagement, considering how sick that was.
What?
All right,
What?
dude, I just said that you had a nice play. Come on, bro.
What?
Why you gotta do this to me?
Pudge goes
Either
down,
way,
drops a gem completely for free. The rest of Illusions rotate in, and we could be close. I mean, we said this probably 3 or 4 times. We could be close to a GG at this point, but it's looking more and more like F5 have less and less resources to go for. There will be double buybacks as Iceberg comes in with a double during 2 There's going to be Dagon to pick off the Ursa. Now they're looking for the Mirana as well. Lincoln's pop. She hops into the ghost form of her own, but now she's going to get slowed down by the Shadow Demon and picked off. There's no buyback on the Earthshaker. There is buyback on the Mirana, but a little bit of over-aggression from Illusions cost them what could have been a huge lead. The gem still sitting under the Pudge's corpse will be picked up by the Shadow Demon.
Okay, so you die, you force out the buybacks of the 2 cores. I guess that's the whole play, right? Make sure that happens. The only thing is the Earthshaker won't have buyback. Oh, it's actually not even timer anymore. It's just pure gold value. So Mirana just pops hers early, knowing that the timer is going to have to go down anyway because they're going to be pushing in. So might as well do it now, get the most out of it. Not going to go for any sort of a buyback bait. I just want to highlight, though, because this is really important for Pudge players, considering how many we all get in our games. When you're in a base race situation like that, going high ground was such a sick play by Iron Man, because he forces a TP that he can see. He knows he can just hook, so Winter Wyvern has to cancel and walk the whole way home. That actually could have been totally game-losing, not having one of your supports there for that fight. So if you're a Pudge, and you know that you can go high ground and sit there for a minute, even though there was still a full tower, like he's just tanking the damage, because he was able to cancel bad TPs. Because realistically, you should be like TPing over here or something, right? It's like up against a disruptor. It's the exact same idea, guys. So win my games, please. All you support Pudge players. Thank you. That's the end of our public service announcement.
How about just don't pick Pudge in pubs? Like, that's also a service announcement I could get behind.
Yeah, but then like every 3rd Pudge, okay, every like 5th Pudge is so good on your team, and you're just like, the next guy picks, he's like, yeah, easy. It's gonna be hooking my lanes. It's gonna be sick.
Yeah, I don't play Pudge for the sole reason of I end up catastrophically losing every team fight. Same with Void. Like, any hero that allows me to intentionally damage my own teammates, I will do that every single time by accident. Either way, we're moving forward here. Illusions smoked up. They are ready to go, ready to just rip off the Band-Aid, finally break into that high ground, crack down those tier 4s, expose the throne, and just get to that meaty center. But it's going to be a hard way going. F5 still have some seriously formidable defense. I mean, this late game Puck is just roaring there. Still a 7-second BKB charge, picking up another ultimate orb as well. Is that going to be a sheep stick of her own?
Sorry, I was catching. I think so.
Our fairy dragon.
Yeah, you said her, and I got confused. Puck
is
did you just assume?
It is a genderless fairy dragon.
Thank
nymph.
you.
It is a asexual being until reaching sexual maturity, in which case gender will then be assigned.
Excellent.
So I have been to the lore and back. I just like
Thank
calling
you.
Puck a girl.
I always called him a he because from what I understand, he was a guy in Dota 1.
In Dota 1 he was. In Dota 2, courtesy of the Valve store at TI4, they had leggings for the women with all the female Dota characters' faces on them, and Puck was there.
Oh, that's some solid.
That's some deep analysis
like
right there.
That's some actual like company lore. I feel like that outweighs. I don't know. I'm gonna have to see these leggings, but from now on, I'll call Puck a girl for you.
Zyori has a pair. I can send you a picture.
That's true.
later.
That's true.
Yeah, he actually does.
Yeah.
I gave him those leggings as a present at TI4. Anyway, moving forward onto this game, our net worth chart is a disaster. It is basically a mirror image here. The Dire are still holding on to a 5,000 gold lead, but at 60 minutes in, that's one team fight going well for you.
Yeah, that's nothing,
That's
right?
absolutely nothing. The items are virtually even. Our overall levels are pretty much balanced out. Our notable exception is the Winter Wyvern, who still doesn't have that level 3 Winter's Curse.
Oh, there's a little discussion going on right now. Like, dude, arrow this high ground. I have a gem. No, I'm not here. No, I don't need the arrow. I can just blink up. And then finally they do it, and there's no ward. I don't know. It was just really funny. You can see they were like kind of going back and forth over and over. It's like, I don't want to waste arrow. It might give us away. Good stuff, guys. Those are the little things that Dota always crack me up.
Yeah, I mean, it's such a team game here. You see the characters, you see the heroes going around. It's really easy to say, like, oh, that was a bad play. But just remember, there's people sitting behind the chairs controlling all these guys. Sometimes the mental games are more intense than the actual fights going on themselves. So down the bottom lane, we're going to have Puck working towards the next item. Again, I'm assuming it's a sheep stick. Could be a Shiva's, but we'll see. Is Firo going to be latching onto that high ground, really wanting to move forward? There is going to be one stack of Shadow Poison arrow flying clean on through, not going to connect onto our Sand King. So for now, just a slow siege coming out from this Mirana, who's essentially 6-slotted. I mean, you could, in theory, sell the BKB when it gets ultra low, but still sitting at 10 seconds. She wants to get the most possible use out of that thing.
I can't believe we're still in game number 1. I feel like this has gone longer than our series this morning, or our last series, I should say.
Yeah, and again, last time Illusions played, they were up against PR, and I believe it was a 15-minute and then a 17-minute game. So Illusions have definitely
this literally
shown up.
is longer than their whole series.
Absolutely, including draft and break time. This is longer than the entire last series Illusions played. All right, Pudge, he's scrambling around.
Do they have a gem?
Something. They did. Pudge, remember, died. He's now
Pudge
holding
has
onto it
yeah.
again.
He's got another one.
Oh! The outplays coming forward. Pudge still is able to land the dismember on the Winter Wyvern, who's almost surely dead, but on the backline, BZZ moving forward. We got a BKB triad going in, and there's going to be the damage drop. BZZ goes down. There's no buyback on the Drow Ranger. This could be huge. They end up dropping the Echo Slam, picking off Yol as well. Lolik goes for the Burrow Strike, trying to escape, trying to get some damage done onto this Mirana. Is the Caustic Finale going to do enough? Oh, the Illusory Orb Jaunt will, though. And now Puck is going to be going back in. Does get hexed, does get Yuled. Will there be enough? Force Staff back out. There's a Lotus Orb onto the Puck as well. Burrow Strike back in. This Sand King's trying to buy all the time in the world, but Iceberg slowly nukes down the rest of the cores. Iceberg still alive, lands a double man Dream Coil. Lolik should be able to escape, has the Boots of Travels. Unfortunately, Puck ends up losing his life. Sand King wants right back into this though, channels up the Epi, starts charging for it, but will get locked down. Abyssal dropped, Sand King dead, everyone wiped, and there's only one buyback. It's on the Sand King. I don't know if that's enough to hold back this push.
It doesn't look like it, but what a fantastic display of ridiculous skill and all the microcosms of Dota right there when you get to an hour-long game, right? So many Lotus Orbs flying out, so many Yule Scepters, every spell, everyone keeping track of people through like Force Staffs and BKBs. That was so impressive to watch. All these sights, there's like a sight and then an immediate Lotus Orb from the Sand King to save you, so like his allies outside of the Hex, and just so well played right now.
Lolik goes back in, but he might die here. There's going to be that Disrupt coming out. He goes for the Burrow Strike. Yol just buying a little bit of time, ends up going in onto Firo, but still with the BKB rocking, this Ursa is feeling no worse for wear, continuing to chip away on these racks. There will be a Yule's coming out from the Sand King, and a TP forward comes in from our Pudge, who's looking for something, lands the hook as he's teleported into the air. Oh god, Dota mechanics, no, fail me now. There's going to be a Winter's Curse just holding the Pudge in place to allow for the Earthshaker to reset, and now they might be able to kill the Ursa here. They are able to do so with the Dagon, but they've got to watch the Sand King's life. Again, buybacks are in short supply here. Moving in, they want to find the kill on the Winter Wyvern, who's now virtually out of saves, has that Cold Embrace, but it's going to be chopped right through here. It can only last so long. The hook from the Pudge clips right into it, so now 3 heroes are dead on Illusions, and as soon as F5 clear out their lanes, they should be able to mount a push of their own.
How's this game not over?
Well, because the net worth chart looks dumb. Only when the net worth chart starts making sense does the game
Were there
end.
not creeps here? Were there not creeps here? And everyone dead but a Shadow Demon?
Yes, you are
That's
correct in the
That's
positioning.
the part I'm missing out on.
And then Shadow Team had just made the play. Sand King respawn, move forward. He had to buy back, I believe. But
yeah, he popped his. Puck popped one. I'm impressed. They're doing it. Now they're gonna get themselves a Roche.
I mean, yeah, they're gonna go in for the Roche, but is that enough here? Well, it's hard to say here. It's still looking good for Dire. They're the net worth leaders, the Ursa and the Mirana, still with a little bit of room to grow. You can have Mirana gobbling up. Oh, she already ate her Moon Shard. Mirana is officially the most 6-slotted she can be unless she sells her
Earthshaker's
blade.
coming. Oh, he's too late.
Too late.
He was coming in.
He's like, I got this, I got this, I got this, and then he didn't got this.
Oh my goodness.
It's still going.
Whew. I know I sound tired. I actually do sound tired. No wonder that guy keeps spamming about it. But I'm just like, I'm mentally exhausted from trying to figure out this game. This game is one of those ones that, like, it's defying all the ways you expect a game to go. And it's not necessarily because, like, anyone's really screwing up. It's actually more so just big saves and big plays for the most part.
Yeah, I mean, it's less crazy YOLO plays and more like, holy crap, I can't believe they actually pulled that off kind of plays.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm not putting too much. You know, it's getting chaotic, I'm sure, inside the game. It's one of those games where you're getting, like, shaky hands and, like, kind of hot sweat because you're just, like, those are the best and the worst kind of games. They're only the best when they're actually over. They're so stressful at moments like this.
Oh, they are. It's one of those games where at the end you're like, win or lose, it's over. I learned from this. I never have to play this game again.
Yeah, you feel okay losing this in a pub. Obviously not in a competitive game. I'm sure you're not going to feel that okay. But the general state of the entire game is so hard to keep track of at all times. You're watching lanes, you're watching Roche, all the timers have to be done. You have to keep an eye on the buybacks. You have to watch every single ultimate. You want to know, like, who's on what BKB. Tough.
We do have one bright side, though. I mean, aside from the great Dota going on, we have about 10 minutes left until the map starts breaking, which is going to be a huge thrill because there is a Darkseer. And for some unknown reason, whenever Darkseer's in the game and the game goes past 72 minutes, shit starts getting real weird.
Oh yeah, that's true. My last game didn't go weird, but there wasn't a Darkseer. But there was
always Darkseer's the catalyst for some reason.
I know. There was a crazy Razor cosmetic though, and even it didn't go crazy. So I don't know. Like, it might not. Maybe it's done. I know they patched a bunch of it, but this is the true test.
I've
for
seen
sure.
Darkseer games fall apart very recently. The Ancient lit on fire on the Radiant side, and Darkseer started farting bats. That was, I believe, what the map broke into.
Oh yeah, yeah. Some good stuff right there. Well, speaking of good stuff, some baits up top here. See if Afromosh is going to be the one to scout out the baiters. Doesn't look like it. They're not going to go, though.
Yeah, it's so tense right now. You've got Radiant pings. Right now there is going to be just creeps slowly but surely equalizing here. Again, these are both full sets of racks down, so super creeps on super creeps should remain relatively equal. The only inequality here is the mid lane. The Dire are going to have an edge on that just because they have that mid lane of Radiant racks down. Pudge. He's so close. They're
if only
away.
pops flying.
It's like that dramatic irony of listening to Romeo and Juliet. You're like, I know shit's about to get bad, and here it goes. There's going to be a wall. You have illusion damage coming out. Meanwhile, Pudge going to get locked down, but he's able to eat up a cheese. They're going to be focusing down the Winter Wyvern, so no more Winter's Curse. The Epicenter doing a decent amount of work to the Darkseer as well. Hook comes in and flies through from the Pudge. Now we'll see.
Dire have full vision here right now, and they still have the Epi. or rather the echo, so be cautious.
All right, Drow gets right out of there. There is going to be the fissure connecting onto Lolik, but no other follow-up. Without the Winter Wyvern, I mean, it's arguably the least important hero to go down, but it's still, you need that save of the Cold Embrace, you need the hold of the Winter's Curse, and now it seems like Drow Ranger's content to go in, but the Abyssal dropped out. There is going to be an Echo Slam coming back in. Drow Ranger could be in some serious trouble. There's going to be a Dismember coming in on the back lines. They've got a Triple Man Dream Coil, but is it going to be enough? Lolik moving back on through. They lose the Shadow Team, and the Drow, she's still alive, just barely. Meanwhile, Shan King trying to make something happen here. Oh god, they see her. They're moving forward. Lolik is going to get hexed up, and there's going to be a kill. Afromuth moving forward, does find the pick onto the Drow Ranger. She does have buyback now. There's going to be the Yules onto the Sand King. They pop down a sentry ward. He's just going to be scurrying over, blinking himself onto the high ground, TPing out. Radiant want to bail. They no longer have resources to fight. Pudge goes onto this cliff, just trying to take someone down with him. Unfortunately, they hook this Earthshaker, who also has a blink dagger, so we can just get right back down. It's going to be Allusions having another successful hold against a Radiant invasion. There are buybacks on the two important cores, though.
That's a huge mistake by Fantastic Five. You have a Shadow Demon and you have a gem, and you don't check this hill. Like, there's no reason not to check that hill when you're sieging. You have a Pudge who's trying to do all his hooks with an Aghanim Scepter. Like, that could just win you the game if they don't have vision on top of you. And it's such an obvious ward spot. They just, like, threw that entire siege because they didn't throw Shadow Poison up this hill and take down these wards. Like, no excuse for that. It's like game-losing stuff right there. Bad Dota, boys. Come on. They're tilted. I mean,
the Shadow Demon's going to be up.
Complicated,
the Shadow Demon's going to be up before the next fight breaks out, so it is going to be that full 5-on-5 fight, depending on the cooldowns. All ultis could be there. We could see that one last unleash of damage, and it's going to be winner coming out on top. You got the Roshan. He's still sitting pretty. You got plenty of time left on that spawn. F5 now has the chance to go ahead, collect themselves, maybe buy up the next round of items. I mean, who has room to grow here? I guess Drow Ranger could pick up Travels. Pudge definitely has room to scale up. But in terms of our cores, Puck, now with the Aegis consumed, going to be flying in a... Looks to be a Hex.
Items? Oh, she doesn't have the Hex yet, yeah. Top lane.
Oh, we're going in.
Oh,
They're
nice
trying to
BKB.
get the kill onto Lolik, but he's able to slither himself out of here. He's got the BKB, he's got the Lotus Orb. There's going to be the Yules, though, and there should be the follow-up. The blink away, though. Can they close the gap? Another Yules comes in. The hook not going to be there, but the Dream Coil to follow up. Oh, gosh, if they can get a double kill here, it'd be great. Afromuth is going to be going down. He's not coming back. He's dead for 100 seconds. There's going to be a hook back in, unfortunately, taking BZZ out of the fight. The arrow clips onto BZZ, but they're able to get the kill onto the Ursa. This may be it. They're now chasing down the remaining heroes on Illusions. They've still got a full health Puck, full health Drow. Sand King still sitting back, doesn't have his ulti, but a heart of gold for this guy, and they're not going to stop to farm. They're moving forward. They get the Yules onto this Miranda. That's a huge kill if they can get it, but the BKB into the Hex might actually be detrimental for the Sand King. Winter Wyvern now coming in. The hook off the mark from the Pudge, and now they're going to be going in the vacuum, only clipping onto Illusions, so not going to bring any heroes closer to the fray. I think we have a temporary stalemate here as everyone resets. Fighting without the Earthshaker is so risky, though. His positioning's been on point. The hook! They find the Darkseer. Can they get the follow-up, though? They know he's invisible. They get another hook! This guy cannot escape. He gets clipped down. That's a gem on the deck. Nice little pickup there, going the way of F5. And now they've got to fight without the Darkseer unless he wants to buy back using all the rest of his money.
Well, Shadow Demon might not scale the best in the later parts of the game, but Pudge sure does with that new Aghanim's upgrade, doesn't he? What a ridiculous upgrade. 4-second cooldown. Insane range with the Aether Lens.
Alright, we got like 5 minutes left till the map breaks. 5 minutes left till one of these teams' heart breaks, because this is such a long fight here. Illusions, this is their big debut into competitive Dota. They really want to go as a team, show their strength. Will they be able to do so here? Racks are going to start to fall. They got a Glimmer Cape on Winter Wyvern, looking to land the Curse of her life. Can they do so? They get that vacuum in, but oh no! The dragon just gets completely destroyed by the Dagon. Now they're just going to try to defend this line of Racks.
Now look at it this time. This is dewarded. Look how much better this siege is. Like, they have no idea what Iron Man's up to.
They're able to go get that Burrow Strike onto the Mirana, slowly but surely ticking her down. Now Earthshaker has respawned. A hook in onto the Ursa. Not quite sure that's a hero you want to bring close to yourself. He's got the BKB rockin'. There's going to be the Mirana blinking forward, but having to solo down BZZ, although the Abyssal gets dropped on the Drow Ranger. Can she afford to die here? Well, she's going to have to. It's going to be 2 heroes dead. Drow, Puck, they're dead without buybacks for over 100 seconds. Pudge trapped onto the cliff. I think Illusions may have done it here to kill off the Sand King as well. He has the buyback, but he doesn't want to spend it until absolutely necessary. The Pudge
Puck's gonna take
forcing
over.
himself down. It looks like he might end up just baiting everyone out. Double buyback coming in. Puck now has enough money to be able to get back into this fight, but the Dire, they're rotating in. They just want to make this end right now.
gotta be
Puck's able to
kidding me.
go through and find a kill onto the Mirana, who now buys back as well. Iceberg, though, this could be a dieback on our Puck. This is going to be game losing. If they end up losing the Puck here, Puck is going to be phase shifting out. They are able to go through the vacuum. That's going to be a dead Puck, and the GG finally coming out of F5 at 70 minutes into the game. What a fantastic showing from the Dire, bringing it home after a very early lead from F5.
Yep. Excellent use of some counter push style supports. The Earthshaker and the Wonder Wyvern, probably the 2 best in the game. I mean, they're right up there with like Witch Doctor can be considered secondary tier to that. Keeper of the Light as well, but it's what you see often against these like IO Huskar kind of strategies, or it's mainly Drow drafts, and it carried the whole game. Like getting that Blink Dagger, such a good timing on the Earthshaker, completely saved this. It allowed the Darkseer to catch back up after a really bad laning stage. They all itemized, and then, well, the next 50 minutes were just who knows what. You know, it was a Drow lineup trying to push in the game and slowly becoming more and more unsure of themselves until it finally just didn't seem possible anymore. So, well played to Illusions. They get their first win here at Royal Arena, and it's only game 1.
Yeah, again, 2-game series here to seed themselves nicely into the bracket. We are going to have game number 2 of F5 versus Illusions in just a couple of minutes. I'm Android. He's Motpax. We're casting on behalf of moonducktv, so sit tight, enjoy the ads, and we'll be back in just a few.